Hey everybody, so we're in the shop today because I want to try a bit of an experiment. Now, the ball joint in any vehicle is a consumable part. Sometimes you can re-grease them, sometimes you can't. Either way, you need to replace ball joints when they start to go bad, because when they fail, they tend to make a very expensive mess of your wheels. Point is, when it comes to the AMC Eagle, getting upper ball joints, pretty easy. Like, those things are cheap and very common. Lower ball joints, different story altogether. We can go to Moog, we can go to Dorman even, and no one has them. The only person who seems to have them online is a place called Rare Parts or Rare Auto Parts, or I don't even know, but they want 130 or even more for ball joints. That's crazy. No. So what I want to see is if I can salvage old ball joints. Now I have two that are here right now that I pulled off of an 87 that was being junked. This is an original ball joint. I can tell it's an original ball joint because it has these rivets that were on the top here which held it to the lower control arm. As well as two bolt points here which you can just kind of bolt through. AMC assumed that you would be able to change the whole lower control arm, which is the bushing and the ball joint, as a single piece. When the aftermarket world came along, it made absolutely no sense to just send an entire control arm, so they made versions of the lower ball joint which are bolt through. And it's the same metal plate style, but this one here in particular doesn't have a boot that just kind of retained in there, but this one's also completely junk. And in fact, both of these ball joints are in really sad shape, so I would not want to reuse either one of these. I want to see if I can rebuild them. And what do I mean by I want to see if I can rebuild them? So if I come up here and maybe the light behaves for us, there is this metal plate that goes around where the actual ball joint is. It's the same thing on the aftermarket one as well. And you can see here that metal plate. And that got me interested and very curious because I have here a brand new upper ball joint. And if I take that out of the box and out of the packaging, this here is a brand new upper ball joint, and I can't help but notice that the shape of the mounting plate is exactly the same as the mounting plate on the lower ball joint. So my guess is that really the only thing that makes these super special is the metal plate on the bottom of them. The actual top part here, it's the exact same ball joint. So I want to see if I can bang this off the metal plate and see if I can fit it in there. I might run into clearance problems with the way this is pressed on top, but even that, you can just kind of cut that out and just put the other one in there, and if it's just the bracket, that's fine. Anyways, let's start hammering away and see if I can actually make this work. Alright, I'm gonna start with the aftermarket one first, because that one seems like it's gonna be the easiest of the bunch to take apart. I can see there's a recess in here. I don't know if it's a tang or if it's just a spot weld, but I can see there's kind of one here and there's probably another one right here. So once I blast away some of that scale, I bet you I can just kind of knock this out. Let me see if I can swivel this over a little bit for you there. There we go. Yeah, there's one. Alright, so there is one hiding right there. And let's see how I can put this in here without blasting it downwards. So I have a block of wood. No, I don't have a block of wood here. Okay, let's just see how well this works. If I just crank on the vise a bit, and then we'll see if I can cold chisel it out. Ow! Okay, so I really don't know here. Like, I'm talking about, come on, focus, there we go. Like, I'm talking about those little rectangular notches there. They aren't visible from the other side on this one here, but obviously that is how this ball joint fastens to the metal plate. And yet, I can't get them out. It doesn't look like they've been welded. Otherwise, you know, you'd see a bit more weld in there. But, alright, we'll keep experimenting with this. Maybe we can get it free. I don't care. Just get out. Wow, that actually augers out real well. And by the way, if anyone's asking, yes, I'm using crappy drill bits for this. I'm not using good drill bits to auger like this. Yay! That bastard done. So, this is the ball joint, the actual ball joint that goes in there. And it's got this nylon back piece to it, and, well, there's the other half of it. And I guess it's a giant nylon insert that goes in and presses in. And then this is the assembly here. I haven't cleaned it up yet. This is just the bracket, and you can see those 4 spots there. They have to be welded. That's insane. But they're welded together like that. The bracket just falls off. Now, where did I put that Mevotech upper ball joint? Now, 2 things to notice here is that the Mevo is this thick, and this is that thick. It's twice the thickness. So if you don't want to deal with, if you're fine with that, whatever. The other problem, this has a grease nipple. And can I take that off temporarily? I don't believe it's on there tight yet. Nope, it's just hand tight. And so, I mean, if you don't mind the fact that this here has to be cut off, this bracket here, the holes line right up. So I'm willing to bet you, yeah, like this is the exact same. So, you know what? I would say this is a good rebuild candidate. I'm going to have to see if I can cut this off. I'm going to have to see if I can cut this off, and then if this just drops right in there. I'll be back. You heckin' hacker! And yes, by the way, I did get the other one separated as well. So here's that bracket with its 3 points. I'm pretty sure now they are welded, so you're going to have to drill them out if you're following along with me here. But I got a good idea of what else is in here. So this is that little nylon cup insert that the ball sits inside of. And the idea here is that this one here, oh crap, this one here even has a little tiny hole in the bottom for a grease nipple. But there's no grease nipple port anywhere on the bracket itself. So what you would do is that when this is assembled, you'd put grease inside of here, you'd put the ball joint in there, that would last the life of it, or as long as the boot was alive, and eventually the grease would go away, you'd be left with the nylon, which was basically there as a friction reducer, and then eventually that too will wear out, and here we are with a worn out ball joint. But I'll cut the end off of this one as well because it's so similar to that other Mevotech. So we'll have two to work with. Now we go cut those off. Oh, heck. Oh, heck. Damn. Nice. Alright, so as you saw, there was a little bit more to making this bracket work for us. I had to go and saw off the back, and then I had to go and drill this to be a little bit bigger. The result, however, is now this upper ball joint now bolts in perfectly with this bracket, and it looks like it's gonna work. Will it work though? I made one mistake. Hold on a second. Where did I put that stupid thing? So this here is the ball joint and tapered shaft assembly from the old lower ball joint. I'm going to take this pair of calipers here and let's take a look at this. So at the very top of the taper here, that is 17.48 millimeters. At the bottom of the taper here, just before it hits the boot, 18.87 millimeters. Okay, so the other one should be the same, right? Top of the taper, 15.92 millimeters, and down at the boot, 17 millimeters. After all of that work, this looks like it would work, but it would not fit into the knuckle for the lower ball joint. Okay, so that's more or less my mistake for not measuring this out before we started all this. But we have now finally confirmed that no, even though upper ball joints look really close and almost fit perfectly, as a substitute for a lower ball joint, they don't actually fit. So that was, well, a couple hours of my own time that was wasted there. But I really hope you guys got a good idea here, and now there's video proof that no, you cannot just use these as substitutes, they won't fit. And, well, that's all there is to this video here, and until next time, have a good one.